Everybody good?
Let's go again. Very good.
Good, okay.
Me too.
Okay. In a game like this, where you have the carrot of clinching a double bye and adding another tournament, like how much do you preach that? Or is it just kind of, this is just another opponent, finish the job type?
Yeah, I mean, everybody sees it and everybody knows what's at stake with this game. So, our focus has been really good in practice this week. It's a little bit of a unique situation with a bye going into your last game. Michigan's on the same schedule that we are. So, just really try to take advantage of it. And, I like the energy that our guys have played with since the last bye game. And, we're playing some of our best basketball of the season. So it's important to finish this regular season off on a high note and hopefully go out and play well and do it for 40 minutes. Obviously, we haven't done a lot of that on the road this year. So this is an important last game for us, and I think our guys are ready.
What kind of atmosphere are you anticipating with it being an 11 a.m. tip, but it's also daylight saving,
Yeah.
so it's like technically 10. It's their senior night, but their season has kind of gone off the rails a little bit. What are you anticipating that vibe being like?
Yeah, I mean, it's that our body clocks, it'll be a 10 a.m. game. And you don't play a lot of those. We have had the benefit of playing an 11 a.m. game with Penn State a couple weeks ago. It's important in these early games to get off to a good start. And, hopefully we can come out of the gate with good energy. We do practice in the mornings, and, hopefully that will benefit us come game time. But, our pregame meal will essentially be 7:30 in the morning. So it's something where our guys, I've really challenged them is about the importance of rest leading into this game and the importance of recovery. And again, that is when you look at the bye week that we've had, the benefit of that, getting our guys a couple days to recover. Because, at this time of year, listen, we're all banged up. And we've got a couple of guys, especially our front court guys, that, that are feeling it a little bit. So this was a really good week for them to recharge their batteries to heading into this time of year. Not only this game, we'll get a nice little rest, whenever we play, whether it's Thursday or Friday, going into the conference tournament. And, then you're playing a lot of games in a short amount of time with very little prep. So, it's an important game for us. And, like I said, hopefully we finish this regular season on a high note.
Even though Michigan's had a tough season, do you always have to be prepared for, especially this time of year, for teams to kind of have that second win with the postseason in front of everybody?
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, listen, they're a completely different team with Doug McDaniel on the floor. And you look at some of these recent games that they've played, it was a 8-point game against Purdue, the number one team in the nation, under 3 minutes to go. Michigan State, they were tied, under 90 seconds. So they've had games where they've had a chance to win. And, McDaniel makes all the difference in the world for this team. He's such a dynamic, one of the most dynamic players in our conference, and he is so gifted in finishing, getting in the paint where he can make plays for himself and others. And, they've got talented players around him that can shoot the basketball. So, it's for us, hopefully get off to a good start. They did hurt us in transition. They scored 18 points on us in transition the first game, and they play a lot faster at home. So that's going to be an important part of this game. Have to take care of the basketball. And, they do a lot of things defensively. They'll change defenses up. And, we're just going to have to run our actions with pace. Whatever defense they're showing, whether it's their press, 2-2-1, 1-2-2. They've got a couple different zones that they'll play, and then their staple is man. So, whatever they're in, we just have to keep our pace and then hopefully play with an edge on the defensive end, which we've done a pretty good job of lately. With the exception of some possessions we'd love to have back against Ohio State. I think the edge that we're playing with on that end of the floor right now is as good as it's been all year.
Reviewing the last time you played Michigan, just what stood out? What did you take away?
Well, obviously we got off to a really good start, and I give Michigan credit. They hung in there. They cut that thing back to 15 after we got it, I think, to 30 at one point, and they kept coming. Had actually a chance to cut it to 12 on a 3. So they had a nice little run on us. They hurt us on the glass. They got 19 offensive rebounds against us, and like I said, hurt us in transition. So those are some things we're going to have to do a better job of on the road. We got off to a great start that game, built a little bit of a cushion, but they do some things that can expose us. So we have to do a great job. The 3 things we've talked about with our team this week is transition, taking care of the ball, and rebounding, and finishing off possessions. And they do a good job in all 3 of those areas.
How do you prepare? What do you have to do against, the multiple defenses that you'll see from Michigan?
Yeah, just work on them as much as we can, and again, that's the benefit of having the time that we've had this week. We really worked against every defense that we're going to face in this game tomorrow afternoon, and it's just about, like I said, it doesn't matter what defense you're playing against. You have to play with pace, and you have to have screening and cutting, and against zone, you have to find the gaps. But that's the thing that doesn't change about whatever defense you're facing is you have to go out there and play with force, and you have to play with a thrust, on that end of the floor. And again, our guys have had a good week of prep, and hopefully that carries over tomorrow.
Coach, with the high school taking up Pinnacle Bank Arena the past 2 weekends, has practice looked different at all? You've been trying to simulate any environments just being here?
Not really. I mean, we practice here 95% of the time anyway. Really the only time we go over to PBA is the day before games. We just like the convenience of practicing in the facility. Hendricks has everything you need. The film setup here is exactly what you want, and so it really hasn't changed our prep, no.
You mentioned the bye week being good for some of the front court guys. Rink in particular, how do you see him, as you head toward the stretch here? And how valuable has the sports science and Kurt Joseph, everybody been?
Yeah, sports science, it really is a huge benefit for us, and I think we have the best sports science department in the country. And, for example, we do our jumps the day before games, and that'll show us based on how they compare to their baseline tests, how fresh they are going into the game. And pretty much everybody was either at their level or above going into this game. So, we set a load early in the week on what it was going to look like. We went really hard and physical on Thursday, and then tapered it off a little bit. We still went hard on Friday, and then today was more walkthrough just based on the early start tomorrow. So, just the benefit of having someone that's what their life revolves around, in the research and their PhDs in their field of what a week should look like. And as I've told you, I mean, the 1 week when they came up with a load, I threw it in the garbage. But we've really, at this time of year, you listen to it and try to get your guys as fresh as possible heading into the most important time of the year.
Joe said last week, being a Lincoln native, he knew kind of the narrative of this program's history. He wanted to change that. As a big reason he came here. What would it mean to you, without looking too far ahead, to make a little run here going into tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can not get ahead of Sunday, of tomorrow. I mean, that's our sole focus right now, is tomorrow, and hopefully go out and play well, finish on a high note, and then you worry about that as you go on. But I'll say this: we put ourselves in a good position right now, just based on our overall body of work, and Josiah has been a huge part of that. And I think he saw Sam Griesel in that similar situation last year. It's why Sam came back here, and unfortunately, with some adversity that we hit midway through the season, we weren't able to get there. But we talked about taking the next step, and we put ourselves in a good position to do that. So it's important for us, again, to finish playing well tomorrow. Whatever the result is, we want to go out there and play consistent and play well for 40 minutes, and then worry about the next step, which is the Big Ten tournament.
Has there been an update on Eli and his ankle?
Eli's doing better. He's starting to move around, and he's doing the non-contact drills out there, and then he's going with Kurt Joseph and getting a workout just based on whatever load that they want him to hit. And he still has some soreness in there, as he's typical with a high ankle sprain, but he's really made good progress. And hopefully we'll get him back into some live drills next week. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.